Welcome once again to the workshop of Wood Spun Round. I'm Doug. I'm glad to have you in the shop with me. We're turning a piece of, it was marked pear, but I'm pretty sure this is a piece of cherry. Doesn't really matter. There's not going to be a lot of wood to be seen at the end of this project. You'll see that here in a little bit. But I've got it on the lathe, and just because of the circumstances, I'm going to put a tenon on what will eventually be the top. Right now I've got it just pressed between the chuck and the tailstock of the live center. It's just pinched there, being held by nothing but pressure. And I'll turn this tenon on the top, and then we'll get it turned around. But I'm just using a skew as a negative rake scraper just to shape up this tenon so I get a good grip on it as I turn it around. We'll do that here in just half a second. This is about the only use for a skew on a bowl is to make a tenon. And it works very well as a scraper there for that. We've turned it around now. I've got it in the chuck, and again, using my typical 1/2 inch bowl gouge, this is the bottom now, and we're gonna shape this up. The bark that was on here was loose, and so I went ahead and knocked it off. It took me, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds to get it all off. It was very loose. So I just used a 1-inch chisel and knocked that right off. And now we're just getting some basic shaping. You see there where the bark used to be, that dark area. This limb piece that this is from laid on the ground for quite a while, and it got real dark underneath the bark. So all this will go away. And it would not have mattered, but it all goes away because I wanted a nice smooth surface on the outside of this bowl. We're just working on taking away all the parts that aren't a bowl, and we'll form a tenon here in just a moment as well. Here we are getting a good flat spot on the bottom. I'm going to pull the tailstock away just to get it nice and flat across the bottom. And then we're going to form the tenon. You see the bowl is basically shaped here. I've got a little more work. You see that flash of that dark area that's still on there, but that'll go away here in just a moment. Getting the basic tenon turned with the bowl gouge. Then again, we'll come in with the skew just to size it and shape it, get it where I want it to be, so that we get a good hold on it when we hollow out this bowl. Took a look at the tenon there, and it was just a little shallow for my eye. It just looked a little shallow, so I just made it a little bit longer tenon there, just assuring that I'll have a good grip on it when I spin it around in the chuck. Let's finish up the shape on this bowl now, and so we can get it turned around. These are not the nice long curls that you get with wet wood. It's little short shavings that are coming off, but they are shavings. It's cutting very nicely. It's not wet at all. It's very dry, but it's cutting really good, and I'm really happy with it. Just taking a look, see where we are. I've still got a little bit of that dark cambium layer at the very bottom. And there was a little bumping in there. A little bit of a knot that I was hitting. It really wasn't a flat spot at all. We're just kind of finalizing, doing some little fine cuts to get the shape just right. Kind of a final pass here, get it all cleaned up. Then we can turn it around, start hollowing out the inside, which you see here. I like to kind of work from the center out and establish the rim pretty much right off the bat. And then I can work all the way down to where I want it to be. And keep those walls as parallel inside and outside as possible. This is something that was just kind of ingrained into me when I first started turning, was to make those walls parallel, and so that's what I do. Had the discussion with a couple of folks here recently too, to wall thickness. Some people like a little thicker bowl. And that's fine. I tend to make mine a 1/4 of an inch or even less. And even a 1/4 inch to me personally seems a little thick, but I've come to understand that most people like them to have just a little bit of weight there. Gives the impression of durability a little better. And so I'll get down to a 1/4 of an inch, sometimes 3/8, but not much thicker than that. You saw me sand there. We did sand from 80 to 320. And now I'm going to put some paint. This is a simulated milk paint. It's made by Olde Century Colors. I'll put their website down in the description. You can buy directly from them. I'm sure there are retailers around all over for that as well. But Olde Century Colors. This off-white that I'm using is called Old Parchment. It's a nice color. It's kind of a creamy color. One thing I have found out, and you'll see it here when I change over, I'm going to get another color from the same company. These paints need to be shaken very, very well. They do settle a bit. I got this Parchment shaken very well. The other color I'm going to use here in just a minute, I didn't shake it quite as well on the first coat, but I got it shook up when I made a second coat. I was thinking that maybe I only put 2 coats of this white on, but I think I actually put 3 coats on. Doesn't matter, 2 or 3 coats. You just put it on until it looks good to you. This is a base coat before I put on the second coat. This is not a new technique that I've come up with. This is one I've stolen from other folks, other makers, and it's a great technique. It works very well, and you'll see the results here. Well, you may have already seen the results in the thumbnail. Gives a kind of a bit of a feeling of antiquity. It looks old, well used, which is what it's supposed to look like. That was the whole idea. But this white, what I say the color was? Old Parchment. And that's old with an E on the end, OLDE. A very nice color. It goes on nice and smooth. These are not actual milk paints. If you've ever used milk paint, you know how tough they can be. These are simulated milk paints. I've turned this, changed the angle on it, and you can see I've put black in there. I missed getting the painting of it on, but painting is painting. I just put the black paint on while the lathe was turning very slowly. Very simple to do. Come back to the back side. We're going to put, this is the red that I'm going to use. Again, Olde Century Colors. The paint color is called Country Red. It's kind of a brick red, very nice. I gotta admit, I did not get it mixed nearly well enough. I should have mixed it a little bit more and I could have gotten a better coat on the first one, but no matter. The second coat gives it a really nice look. Started putting it on with the lathe running. We're running pretty slow here, probably right about between 50 and 100, I would imagine. But the paint it's because I didn't shake it enough. It's just thin. And so I stopped. I thought it was the lathe spinning as going too fast. And so I stopped it and painted it just manually like this. But I decided pretty quick. It wasn't the speed of putting it on. It was me not mixing it well enough. But this gives me a base coat of the red on top of that white, and it is going on quite well. Again, it's not like actual milk paint. Milk paint it does, especially your early coats, don't tend to spread very well. This is more like an acrylic paint. Very low VOCs, it dries fairly quickly. Here I'm putting on the second coat, and you'll be able to see just in a moment here how much better the second coat looks. There it is. You can see the difference between the first and the second coat. It's just amazing, and it is a very pretty color as well. And this could be, for most people, this would be well enough. Just this good second coat, and it looked very nice. But that's not enough. That's not enough. Here I'm putting on just a second coat of the black. Again, got the lathe turned down, 50 RPMs. That's as slow as I can go. And just putting it on with the brush. And I did something, it was unintentional at first, but then I liked it, and so I did it on purpose. I got a good amount of paint on the brush and then applied it so that it left a swirl, almost like you would see on the inside of a ceramic bowl. It's just that swirl that's in there gives that handmade touch to it. So anyway, it's not like it's sprayed on where it's nice and smooth. This is a little more rustic. I didn't show the process, but while I was on the lathe, and once the paint was all dry, inside and out, I sanded it. I'm just gonna show you, I think the final grit here. And all I'm doing is I'm sanding the outside of the bowl just enough where that white shows through. Sanding that top edge so that there's that line of raw wood. I wanted that to show through on the top. It doesn't have to. It could be painted either the black or the white or the red. Any of those three colors would look great on that rim. I chose to have raw wood on the rim and actually on the bottom of the tenon. I did not paint the bottom of the tenon. I'll show you that here a little later. Give it a good blow, get all the dust off of it. I'm gonna spray, I'm not gonna show it, but I'll spray just a real light coat of sanding sealer inside and out just to seal that paint, just to give it a little durability. There you can see, nice solid black inside, the distressed paint on the outside. I did leave the foot, not the tenon, but the foot, I left it the old Parchment. Didn't put the red on it. I just chose to leave the old Parchment, and I think it turned out nice. You see the stills here, sort of stills. Still had the video recording while I did this. I got some stills coming up. I thank you for watching. This is it's been a good project. It was a good experiment. I'll be doing some more of these. So in the meantime, I hope you're able to spin them around. This is Doug. If you would, if you'll hit the like and the subscribe buttons, I would greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you with the next project.